Oh, hey guys, what's up? Eddie Aho here with Kiss Analog, and guess what? I fixed the PFC converter boards. I fixed both of them. Now, there's a little bit of a cockpit problem. I'll explain that in the next video, but I'm going to show some waveforms of this PFC converter, but I want to show you a microscope and what I use to look at the board nice and close, some of those small little leads, and not as the tiniest of leads, but they're pretty small. And yeah, so in this video I'm going to show you the microscope I used. It's kind of an interesting one because it has the camera with the LCD screen, but it also has the binocular or trinocular inputs because it has a third input for a camera and the two for your eyes, so you can look through it like the old-fashioned microscopes. And it's pretty nice. It's pretty easy to work with under there. Some people like that, and some people like to look at a screen. So I'm going to show you that. Now, the other thing I'm going to show you in this video is I repaired the first board using soldering iron. Used hot air to remove the 8-pin chip and a soldering iron to put it down. And I wasn't successful the first time around. I think I ended up one pin was kind of lifted a little bit. It looked like it was bent out of the way a little bit. Anyway, I think there's a couple pins that weren't really soldered down well. One, I think it was totally lifted, just barely touching. When I ohmed them, when I ohmed all the leads to the components that they go to, I saw that I had, continuity. So that just goes to show you that continuity doesn't mean you have a good solder joint. So anyway, the second one I'm going to show you is I used a hot air gun to remove it, and I used a hot air gun to put it back on. And that one seemed to go much better. So anyway, let's get into this video. I'll show you the microscope and these videos I'm talking about, these screenshots.
All right, guys, I want to show you this microscope. It's really cool. It's like a trinocular, right? Because I have a third eye up here, which is this camera I added to this microscope. So this camera came with the display, okay? That's a separate thing. You can use this microscope just looking through the eyepieces and doing your work down here, which is actually might be better. The only negative thing is that you have a smaller working distance between the lens and this, getting your soldering iron and stuff like that in there. With the camera, it has an extra magnification, so actually I have to move it way up high, so it's about a foot. The bottom of the lens is probably up here, and I'll show you that in a moment. But that, so then there's the other thing. Even if I zoom it way up like that, and I got lots of working distance, because it has an extra magnification, I don't have a lot of circuitry I can see at one time. For instance, right now I'm at -1, and this goes from -0.7 to -5. So right now I'm -1, and all I can see is that one pad on this through hole board. So that's not very much. You want to see more circuitry. So if you go to 0.7, you'll see a little more wide angle. It'll get a little bit bigger. I'll show you that in a moment because I have to move this all the way up. But where it is now, down here, I can get probably -1 to -5 just by adjusting these wheels over here. So there's one on this side and there's one on this side, depending on which one you want to grab. So I can move this up and down about the length of this plate right here that has the gears. And then there's that knob back there that allows me to move it up and down on the shaft. But down in the range it is right now, the height, I can move it up and down and look through these and do work where I can see, here I'll use this as an example. At 0.7, I can see about 1.25 inches. I can see from this button, this arrow, all the way over here, from this arrow to that arrow. So I can get it about that much circuitry. So it's still not very much. But if I go to -5, I zoom into this OK, and all I can see is those two letters, which is about the same as the CAM down here in this camera. So I'll show you this, under here in just a moment, just to kind of show you the range, because when I zoom out, I can see the whole camera at 0.7, but at -5, all I can see is a portion of that C. So that's how much it zooms in. So that can be really good when you're trying to look at a single pad on a small circuit. But to see a larger circuit, looking through here actually works better, because I get something this big, okay? And then it zooms down really close where I can still see some real fine detail. Here, let me show you something besides these large. These are 1/4 watt through-hole resistors, and that's all I can see. And that's only -1 magnification. Just for fun, I'm going to show you the -5 magnification. That is just a fraction of that solder pad. And it has very shallow depth of field, so the board isn't in focus, and neither is the leg. I've kind of got focused in between. If I move this wheel up and down, you can see I can focus on the leg or the lead or the actual board right there and go back and forth, just a little bit of movement, and I can get that focus. So yeah, you don't get a lot of depth of field. I feel like through the optics, because it's not having that extra magnification, that you actually see better depth of field, so better optics. Now, let's get a smaller board. All right, so if I zoom out, there's the top of a surface mount resistor right down here, one of those little small surface mount resistors, and this is at -4. So I'm going to go to -3, and then I have to zoom this guy out a little bit, and then I can actually see that resistor in the pad if I want to solder, but that's still super close. So if I go to -1, all right, so there's -1. Now you can see the whole resistor. So if I wanted to solder that or inspect the solder pads, I could, but that's just component by component. So the magnification is still really strong. Let's go to 0.7 so I can show you how far we can zoom out. All right, so now you can see it's about 1 foot off the bottom of the table, and now we can get that kind of wide angle, which is still really close. So that's the one thing about using this guy. Now this is a Microscope TX-350e, okay? Just to show you the model. Has a vacuum right here where it vacuums your solder fumes, and it pulls it out the top here and kind of blows it away from you. So now it's a touch button, but I think they sent me another light that actually has a dimmer control, because this one's pretty sensitive to try to dim. So I could dim it down a little bit where you get a little bit better contrast. And there's the power for the fan. Here's the power for the LED. They come off on a cord like that goes USB, okay? And then the camera is just a separate thing I bought separately. I'd buy a 4K camera and change the optics in here. I think there's lens conversions you can get so that I could, instead of magnify, I could reduce the magnification so I could match the focal length of this with this optic train so that I wouldn't have to change it for the camera, or at least maybe that I could lower it down a little bit. And because right now I'm maxed out at the height to get that 0.7 setting, okay? Now as far as this optics, it's different. I can get wider field of view through here. Here, I'll show you that. All right, so I have it set at -0.7, okay? And that's the working distance, about 4 inches from the thing. So I can get a soldering iron in there just fine and stuff. Not a lot of work room, but you can see I get my hand, yeah, large hands, but I can get my hand in there. So I think that's about 4 inches. And the field of view are, here, I'll show it this way so it's not glaring. It's the bottom, I get these gold parts here all the way up to these capacitors. So I got a circle about inch and a quarter square. So yeah, that is a little bit wider angle view. Now, even with this, I could probably get a reducer on the lens. But yeah, so that's a microscope. 3 different places to mount it on the base.
Okay, this side, that side, or in the middle. I got in the middle, and then it has controls where you can adjust this thing so that you can rotate. You can rotate the head around. Whoops, turn off the light. You can rotate the head around like this. You can lock this in right here, and it has the the control on both sides here. You have this one to lock in where on the shaft you are, and then up here, this guy comes out, your lens, your camera. You drop it in. You can put different adapters here, and that's kind of what I need to do to get this adjusted the way I want it. But I wanted to show you this. That's a very nice microscope from Kaisi, and their manual's got a nice manual here. So yeah, there you go, Kaisi. And here you can see a divot in right near pin 1 up on this chip. It's a little bit below and it's kind of deep. Let me show you. Look how deep that thing is. It's a little crater down in there. And with the microscope, that was easy to see. So zooming out, after I replaced it, the chip wasn't quite working right, and I could see these pins up here that didn't look quite right. This one looks like it's pushed over. So trying to zoom in a little bit closer and focusing, it's kind of hard to hold it, but I'm kind of holding it with my hand, moving the card around. But I can see this pin, and right here I can see that pin 2 right there is lifted. If you look right there, you can see it's kind of lifted, and this pin 3 looks like it's kind of pushed over a little bit. So that's what it looks like after I soldered it. So here you can see it's kind of pushed over. So I'm going to come in here and try to add some solder and get that soldered down to the tip. I'm not even sure if pin 1 is actually soldered, honestly. It's kind of hard to tell. It looked like pin 1 was lifted actually. Let me rotate this around so I can get. Now working underneath the microscope, you have to have a little room under the microscope to work. And so yeah, making sure I got pin 1 down. And I rotated the chip all the way around so I could get to that pin 1 easier. So now pin 1's bottom right corner, you can see that circle right there. And now I'm going to try to get pin 2, and I'm going to push it down because it's kind of lifted a little bit. And just touch up all the pins, make sure they're all seated properly. And then I spun the chip around again to get the other side, and just making sure they're down. And yeah, my work's not the best. I'm going to get better, more practice. I haven't done a lot of surface mount lately. So here's another way. I removed this chip on the second board, had the same problem, and this time I tinned it, and I left the flux down that I was on there when I removed it, and then I put the chip on, heated it up with the airflow, and look, it just kind of, that looks much better, those solder jobs. Now it looked like I could have held it a little bit straighter, but it kind of, I thought it'd float in place better, but yeah, it did kind of shift up a little bit on the other side, but it still looks totally, it looks good, and looks better than my other project. So I'm just cleaning it up with some alcohol, and yeah, that looks much better, right? And I just blew on it. You can see the alcohol evaporated as soon as I blew on it, and when it was wet, you could read the chip. All right, guys, what do you think? Give me your comments down below. Hey, I have not had a lot of soldering. I've done some, but not a lot, especially surface mount, because solder techs and people like that do it, and a lot of times they don't want engineers soldering. And also solder techs are faster and do better jobs, so it's kind of crazy for the company to pay for me to solder. Anyway, I used to be pretty good, especially with through-hole parts. Some surface mount, like the 8-pin chips, I used to do a lot better job on those. So even smaller transistors and stuff like that. So a little practice, using the hot air gun I think is going to be fun, and getting underneath the microscope and just one little thing is I tried to do it when I was filming, and that's also hard to do because you're trying to reach around the camera and that little thing, and it's hard to use a microscope. And what I was trying to show in those microscope pictures is it's, even though you're zoomed in, it's kind of hard to see. The depth of field is such that you have to be tweaked right in on it. Now, there's a bunch of different microscopes with different magnification factors, and looking through the lenses in the Trinocular was much better. When I soldered underneath that, it worked much better, but I can't film that way because there's no room to see what I'm doing. So anyway, so that was kind of my excuse for a bad solder joint, but really I just need practice. All right, guys, Kaisi, or I'm not sure how I pronounce her name, of the microscope. Thank you for sending that out for free. I've had it for a while and I've been using it. I did some videos early on, I think, with it, kind of short, but yeah, so 2 thumbs up to them, 2 thumbs up to my Patreons and my YouTube members, and Danny for being a team member. And guys, if you want to be, support the channel, hit that Patreon link down below. Appreciate that. Thanks for watching, guys. And it's this video series of repairing these boards. I've gone on several videos of this on, how I troubleshot and how I try to repair it. And this is kind of one showing the microscope, showing the tools I use to do it. So I did buy some new solder paste and solder, some solder supplies to get into soldering again. So, all right, more projects to come. And I've got this PFC all set up. Everything's working great. I'm going to tell you about the cockpit problem I had and show you how great it's working and show you waveforms of different parts of the circuit so you can really see how they work. All right, that's the next video. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.